Hey guys, welcome to another episode on my channel. Today we're going to be talking about my March mood board on Pinterest. Living my best life! So you might be saying, well Alyssa, it's April 18th when you're releasing this video. It's a little late for your March mood board, but it's my channel and I get to talk about whatever I want. So with that being said, we're going to jump into some of the things that made me excited, made me passionate, and made me feel creative. So since this is the first ever mood board episode, I'll kind of break down what that is. So my mood board is basically just what I was passionate about for the month. It helps me get ideas for graphics, it helps me do some interior designing, it helps me do some video editing. So I mostly just scroll there when I'm looking for ideas. So today we have my handy dandy iPad and I'm going to go through some of the ones that worked and some of the ones that didn't. So going down to the very bottom, the first thing I was very interested in this month was my overhead lights, which turned out super great. So in my office at work, I really hate white fluorescent lights. So I had got this idea that I wanted to hang string lights from the top, but I didn't want them to be Christmas lights, I didn't want them to be fairy lights, and I didn't want them to be LED lights because I just felt like that didn't fit my vibe very good. So I looked around on Pinterest and tried to find a design that I really liked where the string lights were hung, and this was what I found, and this is how it turned out. I think it turned out great. Everybody loves my office. I love my office. I feel like I could sleep in my office if I had to, and so I was really happy with how this turned out, and I've got a ton of compliments on it. Next up was overnight oats. So this is the first job where I have had to be on the go quite a bit more. My job with Strive was completely remote and I worked from home all the time. But working at Reach, I have a lot more collaboration with a lot more people, so I'm in my office and going to Blair all the time. So I got the great idea to start doing overnight oats because I kept going out to eat because Blair is the fast food capital city of the world, and I kept spending way too much money on that kind of stuff. So I was like, what can I batch make at the beginning of the week that is not chicken, rice, and vegetables, and that is just quick and easy to grab. So I bought like 12 mason jars and looked up a ton of recipes on Pinterest for different types of overnight oats. If you go to my Pinterest board, you'll see I have vanilla, banana, maple brown sugar, raspberry chia, blueberry chia, and this one flopped. I made about 2 weeks worth of these and I ate them a couple times. They were really good. It was just one more thing for me to do on a Sunday, and I just didn't really feel passionate about it, and it wasn't like life-changing, and they weren't the best thing I had ever tasted in my whole life. So I wasn't super passionate about making them every week, but they were good to have on hand every once in a while, and they're super easy to make, so I probably will go back to using them, but I just ended up in a season where I couldn't meal prep, and it was honestly just easier to eat on the go. Next on my list was the Easter stage design for my job. I have been involved in stage productions ever since I was 13, so this wasn't necessarily foreign to me, but it was the first time that I was expected to come up with the design all on my own. So I scoured Pinterest for stage designs. I mean, if you go on my board right now, I have tons of different ideas, but the one we ended up going with was called Segmented Stained Glass. I had an amazing team of people help me throughout the week build this. I'm not allowed to use power tools if you don't want me to be allowed to use power tools. So I had a team of guys who went ahead and built the frames. And they just completely trusted my vision and trusted what I wanted it to look like. I had a great team of people who have been involved with stage creation for much longer than I have that helped me create the muslin that we hung behind the stage, and this is how it turned out. So that's what's going to be up for Easter weekend and hopefully for the near future, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. It looks exactly like stained glass. I told people the title of it was Segmented Stained Glass, a Concept. So it's not quite as literal, and there was a lot I learned that I won't want to do in the future, and a lot that I learned that I will want to do in the future. So it definitely was a team effort, but it all started from Pinterest and some chicken scratch notes in my notebook, and it turned out exactly how I wanted it to, but not exactly how I thought it would. So that was a really fun experience and definitely something I'm looking forward to doing more of as we continue on. One of the last things that I was really interested in the month of March was a photo backdrop. At work, we were going to have an Easter photo booth, and so I needed to create something fun and engaging that people were going to want to stand in front of to have their photos taken on Sunday. And of course, I went to the default that everyone has been obsessed with lately, and that is balloon arches. So on my March Pinterest board, I got to look at balloon walls, balloon hangings, helium balloons, arch balloons, circle balloons, all kinds of things, and eventually landed on this one, which I was super thrilled about. I found a designer out of Omaha who's coming to set it up for us, and I'm very excited with how it turns out. So as soon as I get the photos developed and edited, I will put those on the video. But that's what had me excited this March. I had got to do a lot of creative projects that really stretched me and grew my creativity and were different and more difficult than what I've done in the past. But at the end of the day, I consider them all complete successes, and I'm really happy with how they turned out. Like I said, it was not just me, it was a whole team of people behind me who were helping me and encouraging me and telling me who to talk to. And so hopefully this inspires you to try something new this April, and we'll see what my crazy brain comes up with next.